Hey, 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 hey. Come on in the room. Hey guys, so Misty is in the building. She is in the building today, and she's going to come in here and we're going to have a fabulous conversation. I am so excited. So excited. So I'm going to let you guys come in for a second. Happy Thursday. Come on in the room. Hello, you can comment. I want to see who you are. Where are you watching from? We're going to get started in just a few seconds. I just wanted to go ahead and go live so we can have an opportunity for everybody to come in and get situated. Get you a little water. Come on in. But just to let you guys know, so I'm super excited. Misty, I always mispronounce her name. Misty Coghill is in the room, and she'll be over here in a second. So she's actually going to come and talk to you about handwriting for the Soul Academy. She's one of the speakers on the tour that we're doing. So the tour is called Marketplace Masters with a Z. And Marketplace Masters is all about business for social change. We're helping businesses grow so they can be able to create a change in their community. So we are doing a state-to-state tour. We start out in Atlanta, Georgia, October the 19th through the 23rd. And then we go from Atlanta, Georgia over to Nashville, Tennessee. And we go from Nashville, Tennessee to Austin, Texas. So we're the week before Thanksgiving, we're in Nashville. And then we go to Austin, Texas on that next month, the week before Christmas. So I'm so excited. We're doing a capital every month. So it's so exciting, so exuberant and exuberant. I love that word. Let's use that word, exuberant. Hey, Beanie Man. Hello. I'm so excited that you're on here with us. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Jack just told me that I'm loud. So he's across the hall. Okay, Jack. Oh, she was tuned in. He needs to tune in so he can hear me talking about him. But it's all good. It's all good, all good. So yesterday we had Miss Beanie Man on. If you haven't had a chance to watch that live, go back and watch that live. Make sure you like and you share this live, like and share that live. Go to our website, marketplacemasters.com, and make sure that you get your ticket for this tour. This tour is going to be fabulous. This tour is going to be everything. It is going to change your life. So even what Misty's going to come in and talking about in a little bit, let me just kind of give you a little, nugget of things. So a lot of people think when you're talking about business or when you're dealing with business that you only want to deal with, the bottom line, or you only want to deal with your systems. All of that stuff is important. All of that stuff is absolutely important. But even the more important, even what's importanter, that's not a word, but even what's more important than your systems and then everything else that you have going is also you. You're the most important thing. You are the most important thing. And your business is a direct reflection of you. Your business is a direct reflection of you. So with your business being a direct reflection of you, you got to make sure you're good. So on this tour, we're doing a business conference, and it's a lot different than what a lot of other business conferences are about, because we're starting with you. We're starting with self-mastery. That's what the Monday day, the 19th, is all about. It's about mastering you. The Bible says to love your neighbor as you love yourself. How else can we love? How else can we go about doing business every day and operating in full-fledged every day if we don't love ourselves? We have to love us. We have to love us. And I was talking to Michelle earlier today, and I was so, and we were just talking, and she said, she was bringing up things that were happening. And I told her, well, let me remind you what a mentor told me one time. She said, anytime that negative people or that negative circumstances are able to present themselves to you, it's only your attraction. It's only the things that you're attracting and bringing into you, because we're creators. So we need to love ourselves. If things are happening to you that you don't want to happen, if life is spinning and it's going and things are not happening the way you want to, really check your self-love. Really check your self-grace. Really check, how much grace are you giving you? How much love are you giving you? Are you walking in forgiveness with you? I remember when I first started listening and learning about manifestation and learning about the spirit world and the real spirit world, and just learning more about I am a spirit. I just happen to have a body. I remember learning about this with Lisa Nichols, and it was my first time hearing her say how she said she used to look herself in the mirror because she had been diagnosed with depression and she didn't want to take medication, right? And I battled depression before, so I get it. She had been diagnosed with depression. She didn't want to take depression medication. And so she was determined to be able to just, figure it out and get it all worked out in herself. So one of the things she was prompted to do is she would look herself in the mirror and say, hey, I forgive you. She would look herself in the mirror and say, hey, I forgive you. That's huge. That's huge, to forgive yourself, to be able to give yourself love, to forgive yourself. That's so important. That's so important. And so if things are happening, if you're attracting negative people, if negative people are coming around you and they're in your space and they're able to come in your space and be comfortable in your space, you need to give yourself some more love. You gotta love you. I see Misty jogging in. You can close the door. You gotta love you. You gotta love yourself. Give yourself more love. Make sure you're spending a time loving you, getting to know you. Spend some time with what you want. What do you want? What are you interested in? How are you interested in showing up in the world? So Misty's here. I'm bringing all the tips. Misty's here. Like, she's running in from another meeting, like literally jogging. You have to come in closer. Y'all, so we COVID good over here, okay? We negative over here. But I'm so happy, my friend. She's here with me.
So excited to see you. So work on Tuesday, but we're here today.
Yes. Yeah. It did work on Tuesday, but she's here. She's in Wiley. So what is it? What kind of drive is it for you to here?
So if we don't take the toll roads, it's about 45 minutes.
It's about 45 minutes. So it's not bad.
Yeah.
That's about my commute every day.
Yeah.
I call it the great commute. I call it the great commute. So Misty, pronounce your last name, because I jack it up every time.
It's Cogdill.
Like, I call Hill. I mean, charge it to my head and not my heart, Jesus, because I be jacking it up. So tell everybody what you do. I told them you're going to be a speaker on the tour, and she's actually going to speak she's going to speak twice on the tour. So I'm so excited about her being there, and I don't even know if she knew that. Did she know she was speaking twice?
I don't know. I'm still learning.
She's like, I'm just going to be there. I'll just speak whenever they tell me to.
Yeah.
But yeah, so tell them what you do.
So I'm a handwriting graphologist. I'm able to analyze your handwriting. Your handwriting is a map on paper that is a map of how you think. So I'm able to see where your blocks are, where your limits are, able to guide you and direct you into removing those blocks and limits, which then can advance you forward in a big way. So I'm able to kind of see every letter has a certain pattern with it, has a certain character trait with it. So I go into all the depths of that. But a lot of the times, my main reasons why I do this is my mom wanted to change her handwriting my whole life. My grandma was abused when she was a child. Her abuse showed up on paper, and she continued to write that way her entire life. So I'm able to now see that and redirect somebody with it so that they don't have to continue to experience those negative, abusive thought patterns. That it's a way that you can heal that situation.
So is it safe to say that your handwriting comes from your subconscious?
Yes. It's part of your subconscious, and when you start to consciously write in a different way, you actually have a little battle that goes on between your subconscious and your conscious, saying, hey, we don't write like that, and you're consciously choosing to write differently. So but when you change the way you write, it shifts the neurological patterns in your brain, the way your brain is actually wired, and it's a map on paper. So it's like reverse engineering from how you currently write to writing in the most beneficial way that's going to give you, it's almost like a stencil for your thinking, or like a GPS.
Wow.
You know, we have a GPS that guides our cars when we drive, right? Well, the handwriting, there was a study done at the International Institute of Handwriting Studies, where I studied for the last 9.5, almost a decade now, on the most beneficial way. And the study was studying all the great wise leaders that ever walked the planet, like Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Abraham Lincoln, Albert Einstein, Martin Luther King.
So are we getting, do we have access to a download like that?
So, well, I've got a whole entire program that we go into, and it's something that when you do shift.
So wait a minute, I can study Gandhi's handwriting.
Well, there was a common denominator between 40 or 50 top leaders. So it's not that one individual was the best, but it's the common denominator between, 50 top leaders. So there was a lot of depth and research that went into almost a 30-year study. But I have studied it obviously in depth and in detail. And a lot of my clients sometimes, when you're shifting the handwriting, if you don't have someone guiding you and explaining what's happening,
right,
you might feel very lost. You might feel very confused. You might want to quit. You might have a ton of resistance and not, continue with it. So there's a lot that goes on when you're changing your psyche. So it's not something that I recommend or encourage you just do by yourself and do it alone. To have that guidance and direction.
So you have a program for this. So through the program, they actually have sessions with you.
Correct.
Got it.
Correct. Yeah. Well, and you're uploading your handwriting every day in the group that I've got, and then I'm able to kind of read what's there and direct you and give you tips and advice on what's happening, as well as we've got tips and videos, and we've got a whole entire program that supports you and shows you and guides you in what's actually happening, so that you're not just changing your psyche and then like, what the heck,
what do I do with that?
Somebody who is right now maybe in an unstable situation, I don't advise my program at all. I'll tell you that flat out right now. If you are in a situation where you're not stable, I don't recommend it, because it is going to bring a little bit of changes, and with changes you want to make sure that you're stable, because I want you in a healthy place as you go through the shifting of the neurological patterns of your brain. Wow,
that's amazing.
So
man, that's amazing. So can I tell them about my okay, so I haven't even really taken the program yet. I think I'm in a stable situation.
You are.
Yeah, sometimes I be questioning my sanity, but after I finish questioning, I trust God, so anyway, but no, so the thing that she told me to do was to stop putting a loop in my K.
Yes.
So tell them why you told me to do that.
So that actually, and I want to say this as lovingly as possible, but it represents somebody who's unwilling to. The K is all about leadership, and when I see people write the letter K, there's several different ways that people write it, but there's one way that represents, hey, I see what needs to be done and I'm willing to do something about it. Right. And then there's one way that says, I see what needs to be done and I'm just going to sit here and point fingers and I'm not willing to do something about it.
So that's both sides of me. Both sides are, I see what needs to be done, and gosh darn it, I'm gonna change it. I'm putting action in place, and we got a plan together, and I'm making phone calls, and I'm rallying up the crew. And then there's also me of, ooh, yeah, that's a lot, so I'm gonna leave that over there. Yeah.
Well, the first letter of your first name is your biggest challenge in life, and that is something
Leadership.
that we're all working through. Whatever the first letter of your first name is, we can have that conversation.
So what's the first letter in your name?
So the first letter in my name would be M for Misty, and it's all about letting go of control and allowing divine grace to work through you. And I always, because my mom named me, I took on her area of control, and then she would always say as I was growing up, let go and let God, and that's exactly what the M represents. So as I work through it, once everybody, no matter who you are, once you work through it and you overcome your biggest challenge, it becomes your greatest gift to humanity.
Oh wow. So
we all have a gift.
Once you work through it, it becomes your greatest gift to humanity. Man, all I can think about is all these different Bible characters and how they had to work through their challenges, and then it became the greatest gift. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Man. So, look, I know you're not forget. Okay, so I get so with the handwriting, it's just amazing, because when she told me these tips about taking the loop out of my K, and then you also said to make sure I put more of a straight line on my D. And so I'm practicing my signature so I can go to the bank and change it, so I can make sure that it matches. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to the bank and change it. But I've been taking the loop out of my K for sure. And definitely I feel like I'm bolder. Like, I've been bold, and a lot of the people that were on the 33 days of Pentecost, they remember from me being super timid the first day because it was a challenge. I think I argued with God for about, 3 weeks about doing that on Facebook Live, because I just was not social media. So, I argued with God about doing it, but when I finally did it by day 3, it was like, it's on. I'm just gonna, because I saw the response, and I saw the people getting changed, and even like I said, I was talking to Michelle earlier today, and just listening to her talk about how it changed her life. Those 33 days changed her life. So, but I do see that I'm getting bolder. Like, I'm getting ready to do TV, and I'm doing it. Like, I'm trying to eat right, lose these few little pounds, so I can be ready. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be on TV. I'm cool with it. Like, I'm cool with it. So yeah, I'm getting bolder. But also, she told me to make sure I put a straight line in my D, to make sure, because I did not feel supported, and you had no idea that I was not feeling supported. But I've been putting the straight line in my D, and more people out the woodworks are coming. That's just complete support systems. We don't want anything from you. We just want to support what you're doing. And that is the most amazing, validating, like, how it's just a beautiful feeling.
Yeah. And I will say, there are some letters that are more intense than others, and the D is one of them. So I always have, there's certain patterns, certain letters that will support other ones better, because it all represents a reflection of the mindset. So based on what you're working through, there's, other letters that can support you in other ways that can help balance the energy out, so it's not so intense.
Nice. So you talked about energy. So we changed the name of the tour. So I told y'all this story the other day, but I'm gonna tell it again. And make sure you click like, share on this. Make sure you share. Let's get the word out there about Marketplace Masters, and then also this information, because it's so valuable. Where else are you hearing this? Nowhere. So let's get this information out there and just get it out to everybody. So we were getting ready. Our first dates were set to happen for the tour, and it was called the We Can't Wait Tour. Yep. And it came from the reason we were calling it We Can't Wait. The reason why I called it We Can't Wait is literally because even in the middle of COVID, social injustice is happening so heavy, and there's so many things happening in our backyard, in our society: sex trafficking, people not being treated equal because of their gender, the color of their skin. You would still be shocked at the ratio of female CEOs versus male CEOs. It's still way more males in leadership than it is female, and that's just not okay. It's just, so all these things are happening in our society, and so my thoughts were literally, We Can't Wait. And so we called it the We Can't Wait tour. And put everything together. You know, my marketing team has been working and they are fabulous. Shout out to my marketing team because I love them. Michael Faina, everybody else, y'all know y'all are the truth. And so, you know, we've been working and getting it done. But even in the process of all that, of calling it We Can't Wait, it just wasn't being supported. And it could be because of my D, but also it just was not being supported. So I literally was getting off the elevator at my office and I was getting ready to come in one day and I just asked God, I said, God, universe, what am I not doing? I know this is of you. I know this is the instructions. And if you have a vision, you know it's God. I heard Abraham Hicks say, if you have hope, then you're on your way to being connected with source energy. So if you have hope, then source energy is represented as God. If anybody's not a Vortexian, let me speak the language. So source energy is God. He is our source. We are the resource. So we are a spin-off of source. So he is God. He is our source. So I knew, so Abraham Hicks explains that she says that if you have source energy, that if you have hope, that means you're connected to source energy. But she said, when you know, you become source energy. So it's a different level of connection. So I know that this tour is of God. And I know I am source energy. So I was sitting off the elevator asking, why is it not working? Why is it not going the way that it's supposed to? And I don't know if you guys have had any type of issues with your business where you're asking the question, why is it not going the way it's supposed to? I am willing to be transparent and be the example. And just let you know. So I stepped off that elevator. I asked the Holy Spirit to show me. I asked God, I asked source energy, show me what I'm doing wrong. And not 15 minutes later, Misty calls me. And tell her what you said when you called me.
So can I share the backstory before I share that?
Yes, absolutely.
So,
show the backstory.
When I first met Kirsten, and she told me about the We Can't Wait tour, I immediately thought about the words wait and can't. And I was like, I just met her. I know what I know, but I just met her. Who am I to come in and tell this woman who I just met that she needs to change it all because this isn't going to work? And I'm like, I don't have the courage to do that. So I'm just going to sit back and kind of watch a little bit. And if I have to say something, then I will. And then she had had a fire in her house.
Yes.
And then I had gotten on the phone with Sharon Wyeth, who is amazing. She's the name lady. And when I was talking to her, I was explaining what was going on. And then she confirmed what I knew to be true about the words can't and wait as well. And I'm like, okay, now I have no choice but to tell Kirsten. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but we can't have can't and wait in there because wait means stop. And can't means no. So
and we can't even process can't.
Yeah. If I said
If
I said don't think about a pink elephant, what did you just think of? You just thought of a pink elephant. So I got on the phone with her right away and I said, hey, I just got off the phone with Sharon and she confirmed what I knew as well, which is you can't have the words, your We Can't Wait tour is going to continue to hold you back and slow you down.
So look, this is the thing. We talked about this a little bit yesterday too. So we perish for a lack of knowledge. So what we don't know can and will harm us.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So,
it can. Yeah.
But when we lean not to our own understanding, but instead we acknowledge him, he directs our path. When we acknowledge God, he gives us direction. And so immediately in acknowledging God, that's when he began to give me the more direction of the which way it's supposed to do. So yes, we can't wait, but that doesn't need to be the leading and the title of the tour. So if things are happening in your business, I'm just being, and I told her when she told me that, I said, it's amazing to me because I didn't even think about it. I was too busy focusing on finding the venue, getting the speakers in order, making sure we advertise the event, making sure everything's lined up, making sure that the speakers make sense, because I want this to be as effective as possible. And God, I need you to get glory. And I need everybody that's on this speaker panel to be in the same alignment with what you are wanting, because that's how we're going to bring solidarity. That's how we're going to bring solution. I'm focused on all of this stuff, and the title is wrong.
Yeah.
And so it was like for her to tell me that. So what are you calling your business?
So
because words have energy.
Yeah, exactly. So you had meditated on that and prayed about it.
Absolutely.
And then you had already been hashtagging business
for social change.
So you had said, okay, that's what the main name is going to be. And I needed Sharon's phone call to give me the strength to have the courage to tell her, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but look, the we can't wait doesn't work. And without,
I wish she would have been the bearer of bad news about 4 months.
I felt so bad. I was like, I just met her. I can't just dominate. And say,
we have to learn. That's a lesson in itself, guys. Like
that's a lesson
in itself for all of us. That when God gives you wisdom, don't sit on it. He gives it to you for you to exercise it, and you exercise it by sharing it. You exercise it by doing it. Right? You exercise it by choosing obedience, but don't just hold it. Right? All of us. I do that too, out of fear. But this is.
But you had a lot of money and a lot of stuff involved in this, and I was intimidated.
Everything was branded.
I was intimidated. I was like,
wait a minute, I got a coffee mug on my desk. Everything is branded.
I'm like, I don't want to be the one to tell her that that's not going to work.
I think, but the more I'm glad that she did, and also I'm glad that you got to know me more, to know that I would prefer for you to tell me. You know, like even when it's the hard stuff, I prefer to know. But let me tell you something I've learned, and I'm learning this, and y'all have heard me say this before. It's not my responsibility to care what you think, even what Misty thinks, what anybody else thinks about me. It's not Misty's responsibility to care about what I think or what anybody else thinks about her. It's her responsibility. It's my responsibility to think about what I think about me and what I think about you and what you think about you and what you think about me. We have to take ownership in that. We can't allow the weight, and the most important opinion is God's.
Right.
What is his thought? How does he feel about it? And that's the most important opinion. That's the weightiest opinion that we have to allow, because we can't be moved. Because if I'm so busy worried about what somebody else thinks about me, I'm gonna end up missing. You know what I'm saying? Comparison is the robbery of authenticity.
Yeah, it is. That's very true. I agree.
I can't compare myself, because Misty is gonna rock it out how Misty rocks it out. And she's gorgeous how she does it, right? Beanie is gonna rock it out how Beanie rocks it out. I can't even do her I can't even do it how she does it. But I can do a me and Kirsten, though. You hear me? I got me down.
You got the mama bear energy for the whole
bear.
entire United States. That's what
Mama bear for the whole U.S.
Kirsten for president.
Yeah, Misty better stop playing with me. But it's true. You can do you. You can do you so well. Like you can do you so well. Tiffany said comparison is the thief of joy. Yes, it is. I can't compare myself. Look, Tiffany does Tiffany so dope. I mean, her lashes are always off the chain. Tiffany does Tiffany so dope. Beautiful. The moment I try to compare myself instead of rocking it out as Kirsten, I'm robbing Tiffany, Misty, the world, the opportunity to meet the authentic me.
Yeah.
I'm robbing that.
Well, look at what happened when Oprah kept trying to be like Barbara Walters. And
wow.
As soon as she stopped being like Barbara Walters and she realized it was okay to laugh on television, then she moved into her authentic self. And that's when her, the Oprah show took off.
And just be you. Just rock you out. And on top of that, and I want to encourage you, just also know, I don't care if it's 20,000 other people that has a business just like yours. It's not your business.
True.
You were designed, and when God is calling you, so even if you're watching this and God is calling you to go into a business and you look it up and there's 20,000 other competitors, choose obedience. Choose obedience and go into the business. Do it anyway. And why? Because nobody's going to do it just like you. Nobody has the exact same experience as you. Your fingerprint is not even the same as anybody else's. Your DNA is not even the same as anybody else's. The exact time and date and year that God decided to bring you on this earth, even your name rocks out a certain energy. So it's crucial that you operate in your authentic self and choose obedience with what he's calling you to do. And don't wait. Don't wait. Don't throw procrastination out the window. When you have the power of now. That's what Beanie said. That's what she's going to talk about. You got the power of now. Choose now. Choose now. So let me ask you this question. So while we're talking about handwriting, because I start going in. I think it's the red glasses. Anyway, I start going in. So we're talking about handwriting, and we're talking about the name, the power of the name. So if they are considering a name for their business, let's say we have new business owners and they're considering a name for their business, how do they go about deciding what's the right name? Or how do they go about testing names to see how the energy is? Do they have to come to your site?
Everybody's a little bit different, right? What I name my business, I would choose maybe different for somebody else because I work with, my name Misty, and what your name is and what your business name is are going to go together. It's, what you name your children affects your energy. What you name your business affects your energy. What you name your pet affects your energy. Yeah. It all impacts, and whether it's a positive impact or an impact that is going to bring a lot of lessons, I can sometimes predict that. But I know Sharon is really good with names as well, and she's someone that is great, has been studying that just as much. Right. So it's when what you name your business is the energy with which you are going to work with. Right. So, the letters that are in your family are going to have a big impact as well. So I like to speak to people individually and find out more about them before I can advise something like that. But I definitely say something, more positive than, the words "we can't wait." The words "can't" obviously was not a positive spin on it, and the words "wait" meant stop. So she was constantly having things come up that were giving her problems instead of allowing it to flow.
It was a whole lot of can't and a whole lot of wait.
It was more like
everything was brand new.
Yeah, it was more like going uphill if you're in a canoe and you're going uphill, it's a lot harder going upstream than if you just turn around and go downstream.
Go down and go with the flow.
Yep.
And go with the flow.
So that was
but isn't it possible for them to come to your site and get an hour with you?
Yes.
So so without taking the course, if they're like planning their business and getting things together, they can do the 1 hour and you can help them with the name of their business.
Yes. If that's what they wanted to focus on, yes, that's what I
absolutely. And what's the cost of that?
So it's $197 for the 1 hour reading. And then I've got a whole program, which I always say for businesses and for people in general, when you understand, the entire program, then no matter where you're at, no matter who you're with, you have a deeper understanding that you might not have had otherwise. For businesses, we're putting a program together where we can come into businesses, make sure that everybody's handwriting's in alignment. Because if someone has a huge self-sabotage in their signature and they're working with everybody else, it's like people, they have boat races and everybody's rowing in the same direction, but you got that one person that's rowing in the opposite direction. It's going to slow the rest of the team down. Absolutely. So it's a big impact that we can work with.
Without saying names, wasn't it somebody that you told them not to hire and they hired them anyway, then they had to fire them later?
Yeah.
Tell them about that situation. Don't say names.
Yeah, I had somebody send me a message and say, well, hey, what does this signature say? And then I gave them the information and I said it had a huge self-sabotage in it. Then they said, well, but their resume looks so good and this looks so good, and well, we're going to hire them anyways and see what happens. And I think they had ended up firing them within a short period of time. So it's just showing what the person's working with. It's showing where the neurological patterns in the brain are at, and if they're going to have self-sabotage, which means several different things. It could mean that you're attracting negative experiences, limiting beliefs. You're like, I can't do it, so you're gonna have all kinds of distractions come in that are gonna prevent you from doing what you need to do.
Absolutely. So if you guys have any questions, because I know you probably have questions, definitely put your questions in the comment. I know with the program, I need to start my program. I'm going to start my program. But with the program, there's an accountability group where you actually upload your handwriting so that you're working on it together.
Yep.
And you're not in it alone. That's huge. But then also, like she said, for $197, you can literally have your business name evaluated. Know what the energy is behind your name, behind the name. And what I love is that Jewish people, what they believe is whenever you call a name, so whenever you say Kirsten, you're prophesying over my life. That's what they believe. And my name is one who follows Christ. And that's one of the reasons why I'm all manifestation and all Jesus. Like, you can't separate the two. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people just manifestation and spirit. And I'm like, don't forget about Jesus. But my name is one who follows Christ. So it's prophesied over my life. And I look at even Joshua, and Joshua, my baby, his name in Hebrew is Yeshua. So literally every time I'm speaking over my name over him, and he's very intuitive with the spirit. Like, he's very, I called him the other day having a conversation with his angels. And it was it was awesome. I was asking him, so what are they talking about? We just talked about him and his angels, and he's very divinely connected. But Joshua, Yeshua is his name. That's awesome. So even whenever you speak, you name your children or what you name them, just whatever you speak over them is like prophesying over their life. So that's the same thing with your business. It's the same thing with your business. So guys, listen, I am elated over all the stuff that's happening. Misty, make sure you tell them how they can get in contact with you.
Absolutely. So you can go to my website, www.Handwriting-Soul Academy. So soul is in SOUL, Handwriting-Soul-Academy.com. And we also have a Facebook group. So it's facebook.com/group/Handwriting-Soul Academy. Or you can email me, Misty@Handwriting-Soul-Academy.com.
Yeah, so send an email, go to Facebook, go to her website. Y'all make sure y'all hit her up. Let's get our handwriting in order. If you're in the place. She said, OMG, my name means manifestation of God. Wow, never looked at it that way. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's awesome. Manifestation of God. Ooh.
Yeah, and always make sure once your handwriting's in alignment, I always say it's a slice of the pie. It's not the whole pie. Yes. Because obviously there's several pieces to make the whole, but it's a very important part. And like I said, when I was able to read my grandma's handwriting and see all the abuse that she was attracting, it was all that she had experienced as a child, seeing that it was all in her handwriting and how she could have adjusted that, would have been able to psychologically shift those brain patterns, the neurological patterns in her brain, to then not suffer from what she had experienced and to actually rise above and overcome it. So
don't forget about the business. So tell about some of your business people.
For
like the guy that went from, what did he go from 8 to 12?
I had a client who had was very, very successful, was earning $8 million a year. And took all the right actions, took all the right steps, was fabulous, and still felt like he had a ceiling. And then he, heard me speak about handwriting, decided to take the handwriting course, changed his handwriting, and within, 3 months, he went from 8 million to 12 million, and he had never had results like that before. But he was taking all the right actions, he was doing all the right things, so he'd already had that piece figured out. And so this was kind of like the icing on the cake that allowed it to flow into his life. And
a piece of the pie.
Yeah.
A piece of the pie. So we got 2 pieces of the pie. You got 1 piece last night. Listen. Got another piece today. I'm gonna bring another piece tomorrow. We finna be some pie eating people. You know what I'm saying? We gonna eat this pie. Eat the pie, anime. Or that was cake. My bad. That was cake. Eat the cake.
It's a slice of the pie. It's a piece of the cake. It's icing on top of the cake.
It's all that. It's all that. All that. Well, we absolutely love you guys. We want you to have a fabulous, fabulous Thursday. I'm Kirsten Elise Dunn. KirstenEDunn.com is my website. Marketplace Masters with a Z. It's Marketplace Masters with a Z.com. Go there, get your ticket for October the 19th through the 23rd. You're going to have that entire week. We have sessions that'll start at 11 a.m. and then it won't end till 9:30 p.m. and it'll be up for you to watch it for that entire week. All these different speakers that are bringing you self-mastery. She's going to talk about handwriting, that are talking about just everything you need to be successful, and even helping you figure out the definition of success. We're going to talk about that. That's so big. Because Misty, so tell me, what is your definition of success before we go?
My definition of success is an outcome that you had desired that you actually achieved. So if somebody is out to achieve $100 in a week, then that when they actually receive that $100, that's considered success. When you have $1 million goal, when you achieve that $1 million, that is success of the outcome that you desired. So.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, you know what my definition is?
But
literally, because I'm in the mindset of where Paul was. He said, I've learned in all things to be content. I've learned when I've had a lot, be content. I've learned when I have a very little, be content. So my definition of success is literally when I am living every day and operating every day at my highest and best self.
Yeah.
When I can be me, when I can show up authentically me every day, I'm successful.
Yeah.
That's my definition of success. So just hearing these different definitions spark something in you to help you define success. Because I believe when you feel successful, when you think successful, you attract successful people, you attract successful business, and then you can be successful in your community and giving back.
Yes.
And it comes full circle. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited about all the things that are happening, all the things that are transpiring over the next few days. Guys, I'm about to jump off this live and head to the house and crash. I'm talking about, I might drool a little bit if I sleep so hard. But I'm excited. I'm excited about all the stuff that's happening. God is amazing. You guys are amazing. I absolutely love y'all. Misty, thank you so much for coming on live.
Thank you
and
for
thank
having
you for
me.
having the courage to tell me that we can't wait. It changed the game.
To do it sooner rather than later.
Absolutely.
Obviously, I learned from that too.
Yes. So thank you for having the courage. But we love you guys. Have a good evening. Have a happy Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow live again. I'm bringing somebody else tomorrow. I think it's going to be Tracy's dad. Y'all do not want to miss this. Tracy is off the chain. Anyway, I love you guys. Have a good evening.